welcome to BASSTalk with Freekbass. Thanks for spending a little bit of your time with me tonight or today or late night or early morning, depending on what time you're watching this. Hopefully you're watching it live with me right now. I'm here every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific Time. If you're watching the Facebook page, Facebook Music, Freekbass Music, and if you're watching over at YouTube, obviously the Freekbass channel. And if you're flip-flopping between both, go visit both. And if you're over at YouTube, if you're digging what you're seeing, if you can just hit a quick little smash the like button, that really, with the little guy up there, that really helps a lot. And of course, please subscribe to the channel. And if you're watching at Facebook, please hit for live notifications for there too as well, and hit the share button too. That would really help a lot. So enough of that. So what are we here to talk about? We're here to talk about tonight about modes. And modes are such a weird, crazy thing. When I first learned about modes, I was learning I went to school for creative performing arts in high school, and I learned it was a room full of all musicians, not just bass players, singers, saxophone players, trumpet players, piano players, violin, everything. So it was, it took me, I conceptually understood it, but I didn't understand really how to apply it, because it wasn't like I was hanging out with a bunch of other bass players. And I think that's the main thing with music theory and scales and modes. It's one thing to learn all this crazy language and where to put your fingers and all the notes, but it's another thing to actually make music with it. And so what I wanted to do tonight is give you a brief little explanation of what modes are for those that you don't know, and also to give you maybe some ideas to how to actually create music with it. And you kind of heard me at the beginning doing that, and that's a little pattern I'm going to have us do tonight. And basically what we're doing is we are doing the C major scale up the neck. Okay, so that's a way to think about modes. If you think about all modes it's a fancy schmancy way to think about starting on a different note within the scale. So I always like doing it using a C major scale for my explanation, because C is the only major scale that has no sharps or flats in it. So if you're playing up the neck and you're hitting a sharp or a flat somewhere, and then you're like, oh, I must be doing something incorrect, because there are no sharps or flats in C major. So it's a really good one. So what I would do before we even get into the mode part of stuff is, a lot of us know how to do the C major scale this way. A lot of us have learned that, and we'll have videos about that coming up too as well in the future. But what I would suggest is doing the C major scale just up one string, and in this case, we're going to do the A string. So, you have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, like that. Okay, so you start there. Now, what we're going to do is we're not going to play every single note in the mode. We're going to, again, try to create it almost so it sounds like a bass line. And you heard me kind of doing a slap version of it. You can do it that way, or you could just do it finger style too. That's cool too. So what I'm doing is I just kind of created this little pattern, I'm going to take the octave out for just a second. So you have C, C, D, E, C. Okay, dot, da, 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 da. First three notes, and then da, 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 da. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then we're going to do the first 5 notes, and that's just of a regular old C major scale. That's it, nothing fancy. And that is coincidentally also called the Ionian Mode, okay? Which is just another word for the C major scale, okay? Now, what I'm doing is I'm adding in an octave each time to make it a little groovier, because again, one thing I really want this channel and BASSTalk to be all about is not just learning the technique, but how to actually really apply it and create bass lines using those techniques, because it's all about writing to me. That's the big, when I started creating my own bass lines, it opened up a whole new world for me. It's like all this technique stuff that I learned. It's like, oh, so that's why this mode means this, and this scale means this, and this arpeggio means this. It's ways you can do to create bass lines, okay? So we've got... Okay, so then we're going to slide up to the second note in the C major scale. We start on C. Now we're going to D. Now again, remember, I'm not going to go too heavily into the mode talk, even that we are doing modes. But just remember, when you're starting on in the D mode, starting on D in the key of C, it's called the Dorian mode, by the way. It's the second mode. And the words, don't get too caught up in the words. They're important eventually, but let's just talk about what the notes are. So you're going to be playing from basically a C scale, but instead of starting on C, you're going from D to D. So in this case, if we kept that same little groove I had already, so again, D, octave, D, E, F, D, D, E, F, G, A. Again, no, all natural notes because we're in the key of C. All right, and then again, you can do a finger style, or you could thump it. Go back to another video. We talk a lot about thumping and plucking over the last few weeks. Okay, now we're going to move up to E, okay, which is called the Phrygian mode. Same thing, E, octave, E, F, G, E, E, F, G, A, B. Again, all natural notes. Phrygian is a really wild scale because the second note of the scale is a flatted 2, which is kind of gives it a little bit more of an exotic kind of sound. I love the Phrygian mode for that reason. Okay, so again, E, F, G, A, B, all natural notes. Then we're going to slide up to, I'm going to skip F. So F, F, G, A, F, F, G, A, B, C. Okay, now we're going to go to G. So G, G, A, B, G, G, A, B, C, D. Again, all natural notes. I did mention the F. The F, by the way, is called the Lydian. This is called the Mixolydian. G, which is the 5th note of whatever scale you're in, the 5th mode. Okay, now we're up to A. Okay, so it's basically just an A minor scale. It's called the Aeolian mode, which is also known as the relative minor. So it's just, you know, minor scale. That's your 6th mode right there. Then you're going to slide up to B. Another flatted 2nd in there. Got that flatted 5 too, which sounds really cool too. And then we go back to the C. And there you go. And then that's just using the modes. You know, you could even maybe it simpler. You could simplify it. C, D, E, C, D, E, D, E, F, D, E, F, E, F, G, E, F, G, F, G, A, F, G, A, G, A, B, G, A, B, A, B, C, A, B, C, B, C, D. Like that all the way across. That's a really easy way to play it. But you know, even playing it that simple, you know, you put a little funky drum beat to it. Just try that. Let's see what it sounds like. It sounds nice, you know, playing in time with that. That's the thing, a lot of times with modes and scales. I remember when I learned all those and I was like thinking like, all of a sudden, okay, I got all this knowledge now. Somehow there's going to be this little magical thing that pops in my head and I have to turn it into Beethoven all of a sudden before I even start writing one bass line or one song or whatever. And then once I started figuring out, well, no, it's just like, you know, keep the box really small. Just use the first 3 notes of the modes. Don't feel like you have to use every note. That's the thing is like with modes, you're like, oh my gosh, it's just so many notes. Like there's this, there's, you know, Ionian, Dorian, Phrygian, Lydian, Mixolydian, blah. It just sounds almost overwhelming. Well, just, you know, just use the first 3 notes of each mode, you know. That's a good way to do it too as well. So, and then you start incorporating some of your other techniques in there. And all of a of a sudden it starts coming together in a really, really nice way. Okay, so try that this week. Maybe just mimic the exact pattern I do first. Again, not trying to make you sound like me, but that might be a good starting point, and then you can kind of branch off and develop into your own thing. So again, it's gonna be something like this. Again, we got the little drum beat. You can just do a 4 on the floor, just do a click. That'll work too. And then just play through it. Nice little tempo. But I'm doing 100 beats per minute. There you have it. Very, very simple formula. It's a good way to get you started down the roads of modes. So check that out. Again, thanks for being with me on BASSTalk. Again, I'll say it, if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. That would be very much appreciated. If you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, hit the live notifications. And on Facebook, by the way, make sure you join me this Saturday night for Saturday Night Chit Chat. We have an amazing guest, bass player. I'm going to make you tune in. Sid Butler from the Late Night with Seth Meyers. He's also runs French Kiss Records. So you're not going to miss this one. He's a really, really special, amazing career. There's not a lot of bass players, musicians out there playing in the late night circuit. So I wanted to get him on, and he's going to be joining me this Saturday night. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at the Facebook page, Freekbass 1, Jam Bass, Osiris Media, Color Red 2 as well. And we're going to be up on, I think we might be up on on YouTube this week too, but we're definitely be on Facebook, but we should be on YouTube as well. So, but anyway, that's it. Thanks for joining me. This is Freekbass. Everybody have a great week. Play more bass. Play more bass. Okay. Thank you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.